Now, this is the George Harrison Living in a Material World book. And as I was looking through the pictures and reading every little bit of it, I saw the sticker. It said HBO documentary. I'm like, what? There's a documentary? So I found the DVDs, and there are 2 DVDs of part 1 and part 2 of George Harrison's point of view through the Beatles, going through the Beatles. You get these interviews that I have never come across, like Astrid, their good friend from the early 60s, who met them at the Star Club. And she was the photographer who captured a lot of the early pictures of the Beatles. And then also, of course, a lot of interviews from George Harrison himself talking about the Beatle breakup and how he was developing a lot of songs and they just weren't getting through on the albums on the Beatles. He's like, how much longer can I kind of go through this process as an artist and not get my songs on albums? And once the Beatles broke up, he was kind of free to be himself, but then also of like, he just didn't quite know where to go from there. And then his good friend Phil Spector, who is a producer, said, let me help you produce your first album. And then John was making music. It takes you on that journey kind of after the Beatles and what they were facing and going through. And also hearing in depth how the songs develop, like My Sweet Lord, and that they were a little hesitant to make that the single because of the word Lord. And I love the insight of the songs and how these songs were developed. And it's almost like it took a lot to get these songs out into the world. And it's almost crazy to imagine the world without these songs. And so I highly recommend this DVD. If you're a big George fan or a big Beatles fan, you get that point of view and you get the interviews of them kind of talking about a lot of the situations that maybe they would usually dance around in interviews. This documentary finds those interviews and kind of puts them together. And I really loved kind of hanging out with George. And I hope you enjoy it as well.